Let's make a sketching brush that's a bit more dynamic in size variation, expressive but comfortable to use. We'll start by creating our own brush shape image. Brushes do want a square image for their shape source. Let's also make the background color black. They like that too. We're going to use the selection tool in freehand mode and we'll toggle color fill on. The shape image is a grayscale image. Any black will have 0% effect, any white pixels will have 100% effect, and shades of grey will be degrees of transparency. Think of a brush shape image like a stencil that all of the other settings will pass through before touching the canvas. Trying to keep a fairly contained, uniform shape overall. Let's export this as a flat image, either JPEG or PNG is just fine, and save this to our photos. Open the brush library and in any brush set, tap the plus button on the right to make a new brush. The first thing will be to add our custom shape. So under Shape Settings, above the image preview, tap Edit. Now Import and then Import Photo. Let's grab that shape we made. Next, we'll turn Barrel Roll and Azimuth on. Now under Stroke Path setting, let's set the spacing between the stamps of the brush to 4. Next, in the grain settings, similar to changing the brush shape, we can import a grain image. Let's import one from the source library this time. We'll use Charcoal Coarse. We're going to set grain scale to 15% and further down set brightness to 8 and contrast to 20%. Rendering settings. Let's set the rendering mode to intense blending. We'll bring the wet edges up to 35%. Into the properties settings, bring up the minimum opacity to 30%. Alright, now the fun stuff. Apple Pencil settings. And it's in here where we really get to control how the brush feels and behaves through our input. In pressure settings and size, we'll set that to max. And in the tilt settings, a little further down, I'm going to set the opacity 20%, gradation 50, bleed around 3, and the size to 40%. Right, let's take this for a spin. Having a bit of a scribble is probably the best way to test a brush as you go. And I'm already feeling that the pressure input for brush size could be a little better. So we'll quickly jump back into Brush Studio, and under Apple Pencil, pressure and size already set to max, which is great. We can tap here and adjust the pressure curve for that value. Inside the graph, left to right represents the range of the effect, based off of the value that we defined with the slider. And from bottom to top represents the range of pressure from the pencil. Brush Studio really doesn't have to be a scary place to visit. If you duplicate a brush before making any major edits, it can take some of the fear away. Or if you like editing your brushes with the lights on, you can go into Actions, then Preferences, and toggle Light Interface on. This can make Brush Studio a little more inviting. Don't forget to head down to the About This Brush settings and give your new brush a nice brush name. Have fun with it.